Okay, so the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to turn the pump off. And that is located right here. It's the left switch under the left dial right here. Right here. And you'll notice that these lights here are about to go out when I turn off the pump. But the pump will keep running because it's on a delay for about 5 more minutes. So here we go. Ready? And lights off. Okay, so the pump's off, or the switch is off, but the pump will take 5 minutes to power down. So we're still waiting for the pump to turn off. It should turn off any time now. We're gonna wait. There it went. Nice and quiet. What we want to do next is we want to open up this valve down here to let the water out of the filters. So turn that baby. Water's going to come on out. And we can also control the flow from these valves right here. Let this valve open it. The water's going to flow faster. You'll be able to hear it. Now that water's really flowing. Almost too fast, so we're going to have to put our finger over the hole here and regulate the amount of water that comes out of there. Otherwise we're going to have a flood in here. Just put my finger right over the hole, opened it up again, see the difference there. Pretty big. Close it. Let that baby drain a little bit. So it looks like we're kind of getting to the end of it here. See the flow slowing down a little bit. And there it goes. It's pretty much done. Should be about ready to pull those babies apart now. And now we're going to use Matthew's handy dandy tool here to unscrew the clamps. So a lot of times these things are still locked on even when they're loose. You got to use a screwdriver to pry them off a little bit. Oh, this one didn't get open because it's too close to this thing here. There we go. And one over here. We only really need to loosen these things up enough just so that it slides on out right here. There you go. This piece slides out of here, and you're good to go. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is make sure we got these babies off, because we're going to take the whole top off, and we don't want this thing here, because it could get broken if we take the top off with this on here. So we're going to pull it off. The other one as well is the first one. Okay, so now it's time to pull these babies apart. So, a little lip right here for you. Pop that baby up. Off it comes. Okay, so yeah, we got to take this middle filter out first. And then we're gonna go ahead and hose it down, clean it. Okay, we're also gonna pull this baby off. And out. So we want to try to keep the filter right about here so that everything can drain into the drain there. And we want to maybe go like a third of the way down and go section by section here. So I'm going to just do this section, this top third, and then I'll go down second, third, and then on the bottom. And I want to try to get between every single fold if I can. Okay, just to get the whole thing clean. And then on to the next section. Go to here maybe. So really we're supposed to have this thing drain down the drain here. So I'm going to try to keep it on the inside there. So if you look down in here in the housing too, you'll notice that this is where the bigger filter is going to go, and then the smaller one, the inside one, is going to plug in right here. And again, you want to make sure those have their O-rings in place. We also want to make sure before we put the housing lid back on that this O-ring is in place as well. So we usually end up with a little sediment right here, as you can see, the bottom of the filter housing. So we're just going to wash that out. Alright, you're going to make sure that the arrow on the filter is basically over the pipe that we're connecting it to. It's in that direction because that's where the opening is, right here. It's down below, that is, but that's the direction we want to have it in. Make sure that baby's on there secure. We already checked the O-ring, so we know that's there. Now we can put the middle one on as well. Same kind of thing. We got the arrow here. Here's our arrow facing the hole. Get that baby on there. And you can see those are fitting in there pretty well. So now we're going to put the lid on. And when we do that, we want to try to get it in the same, facing the same way as it was facing when we pulled it off. That way when we put this gauge back on, it tightens up the way we want it to. And we don't want to pull on this, we want to use the centerpiece here when we turn this. I want to make sure that it faces in the direction so that you can see it when you're coming in to check the gauges. So now that we're here, we're going to put the clamps back on. Once we get all the clamps back on, we can go ahead and use the drill to tighten them up. Now that we've got all the clamps back on, I'm going to go ahead and tighten them up. Doesn't take long with the drill. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to clean the filter and the pump here next to the pump. Open this baby up. Voila. And we can go ahead and just pull all this stuff out here. Be careful, there could be sharp stuff, glass in there. So I want to be real careful. Sharp plastic. Who knows what's in here? That baby all cleaned out. Getting a lot of this kind of stuff. When we put this thing back in, we want to make sure that it slides down so that it's not at flush, but actually lower than flush right here against the edge. It's a little hard to see.
but you got about an inch from the top here down to here. So this thing, if it's like this, that's not right. It needs to go all the way down in. Then the stop goes back on. And once we get this back on, we'll just turn a little bit to the side here. Both hands, of course.
One thing you got to watch out for is this little return doodad goes up here. It likes to jump off and run away. So you better watch out. See this sediment down here. Might even be a little gold in there. All right. Probably not going to get rich on it, though. Down the drain it goes. Okay, it doesn't take too long to do that. And then again, we're going to check these O-rings. This O-ring right here, you have to take a little closer look at that. This one here is not looking good. May have to put another one on there, because it is not fitting very flush. It's hard to see here, but this thing is definitely loose. And that is a no-no. This one here looks good. It's on there tight. It's not loose. This one, that one's just ready to roll right off. See, that's not gonna work. We gotta put another one on. All right, so we got another O-ring on here, and this one fits a little better. Probably a little hard to see, but, and it's a little bit thick, but it should work. And we'll know when we put the other filter on, the fat filter, if it works. So what we've got over here is that our O-ring broke. So we're gonna have to get another O-ring for this. This is something that should be checked every time, both these O-rings. And this is why, right here. We don't want that. So now that we're done getting this back together, we wanna make sure all of our clamps are on. They're all on. Same over here. All of our clamps are on over here. Got our valve on here. Got our valve here. This over here, the pump is back together. The filter there, cap is on. And we want to come down here, turn this baby closed so that, boom, the water doesn't run out. Now it should be ready to go ahead and turn the pump back on over here. And when we turn the pump back on, you hear that baby power up. There you go. So everything's starting to flow now. So far, so good. Okay, one thing we want to do when we start it back up again is we want to open up these valves right here a little bit so that the air can get out. So this should feel a little bit of air coming out of here. And feel just a little bit. That's all it takes. You can hear it now. Now we're going to do that same thing to the other side. Open this valve. So we got some air. There it is. Now the air is going to get out of there. When the water starts pushing out, that's when we go ahead and turn it off. So now the water is coming out of here. That means we can shut this valve down because the air is gone. This one over here is still blowing air. And still blowing air. There it goes. There's the water. And that's what we wanted right there. There. All done. So we got a little leak going on here. So something's going on with the O-ring right here. And we're going to have to try to figure out what that is. So we're going to take this baby apart again. Try to get it right. It's this one right here that goes all the way around. We have to make sure that baby's in place before we put the top back on so we get a good seal. I want to try to get the lid in the same direction it came off of because we want to make sure that when we put the gauge back on that it screws tight and faces in the direction that we want it to face in. So everything seems to be running okay. Don't see any major leaks. It looks like we are good to go on this particular cleaning of the pool filters.